Welcome everyone to another Domo live stream. I am so thrilled about the sessions that we have planned for you today. If you are not aware, today is Giving Tuesday. Now, Giving Tuesday is kind of a national initiative. You may have been flooded yesterday in your email inbox with Cyber Week deals. And then today, all of a sudden, you're getting Giving Tuesday emails and you're not quite sure why. So we're going to kind of let you in on a little secret about Giving Tuesday. This is just a day that encourages people to do good, whether that be through acts of kindness or the gifts of voice, talent, time. And our Domo for Good program is really kind of revamping and relaunching. And as we continue to talk about some of the things that Domo is doing in this space, we thought Giving Tuesday is happening on November 28th. I actually cornered Ashley last time I was in the office and said, we have to have live streams on the 28th about Giving Tuesday. We can pair up the Domo for Good program. I really think it would give folks a refreshing look at what exactly we are doing in the giving space. And I know a lot of people, when I say, like, have you heard of Domo for Good, or are you interested in like getting involved? The first thing they always say to me, Ashley, is, I don't know what that is. And honestly, we have purposely, I think, not been super upfront with some of the things that we're doing, because we were really kind of in the beta stages and testing it out for the last couple of years just to see if it has legs. And I really do believe that the stuff that we're doing as a company and the stuff that you're building is extremely valuable in this philanthropic space. I got that word out without tripping up. I tried really hard to do it. It's a very hard word, but I wanted to bring Ashley on kind of as the first session to just go over some of the stuff that she's been working on, some of the things that make Domo for Good really unique as a program for our company, and just share the vision on what this Domo for Good initiative looks like. So Ashley, give you a chance to introduce yourself. Thank you so much for jumping on with me today so we can talk about Domo for Good.
Thanks, Eddie. I'm so excited. I really appreciate this opportunity. And there's just a lot of thanks I have to give. One, to Domo as a company, allowing me to pursue something that I'm passionate about and be able to revamp this program. The program, some may know, it launched at Domopalooza in 2019. That was actually the first day I came in to work for Domo. And years later, it must have been by fate that I got to end up helping revamp the program. So just super thankful for Domo, super thankful in just what I've seen in this last year, whether it's our own employees, whether it's our customers, partners. There's just so much excitement that I've seen around this cause, and just the idea of giving. Everybody, wants to make a difference, right? And bring something of meaning and have a meaningful impact. And I believe between what our product does and in this space where we can give through this program, it just really allows a meaningful, impactful difference for so many people. So I'm super excited to go over the program today. And we've got some really great stories later today with Oaks Village and Rising Star Outreach, and two members of our community, Jason Altenberg and John Lee, sharing later today. So super excited. So Eddie, what can I say from here?
Well, I really wanted to talk a little bit about, when we look at the definition of what Giving Tuesday is, right? This marrying of technology and giving not only your skills and your expertise, but also your time to help do good. And, when we were kind of going back and forth on what these sessions might look like and what stories we should tell, I knew that, like, this giving back context was important, this philanthropic piece that we definitely wanted to marry with Giving Tuesday and to continue to talk about. But this part of folks that might be in our community that can give their skills in just volunteering their time and expertise in helping nonprofits, right, understand data and use data. I know when we were putting together some stats that, there are 78% of nonprofits who got help with advanced analytics became more effective towards their mission. That's incredible. But unfortunately, 74% of them don't use it at all because they don't have the time, they don't have the resources, they don't have the expertise. And Domo has the community of people to kind of help bridge that gap, right? Bring the folks that we have in our community to a nonprofit to say, hey, you guys can use your expertise and your skills to do something good in an organization that you might be passionate for. You'll notice our fancy QR code in the top right hand side is a good segue to, if you are interested, and we've got a lot of community members joining us today on our live stream. If you are interested, I'm begging you, please click the QR code, scan the QR code. We'll put the link in the chat. We want you to be involved in any possible way to help bring your expertise to businesses. And that's kind of the crux of what Domo for Good is, right, Ashley? Is there, am I saying that correctly? Is there any additional things you'd kind of put on top of that? What are we missing here in Domo for Good that I may have not communicated correctly?
No, you communicated that really well, Eddie. I think the community here is the heart of the program. Those with the technical skills and expertise that can say, hey, there's this cause, there's this nonprofit I care about. Is it improving education for underprivileged communities? Is it something in healthcare? Like what can align, whether, when you think about your own purpose or passions, where can you put those skills to good? And that's the whole idea of skills-based volunteering. So again, I'm so excited to hear some stories later today. But that's where this program sits. Domo, we work with data day in, day out. We really want to be able to bring our tech to the forefront. When the nonprofits can advance, be more effective towards their missions with better analytics, hey, that's what we strive to do. That's our mission, to put data to work for everyone. So if there's gaps in budget, tech, talent, can we solve that with our tech? Can we solve that with the talent of our community? And can we solve it with budget? Some nonprofits don't have budget for these kind of initiatives, and some do. Can we make this program work for all people? And again, I would say this program is really mission driven, where we do want to put data to work for everyone. And I think for volunteers, it's really what causes do you care about? For nonprofits, it's how can data help you, and what questions, what decisions do you need to make better? And how can we kind of do the matchmaking on your behalf? And we've done some of that again with several beta projects this year, and it's just so exciting to hear from our customers and our employees how inspired they are to be contributing to a program like this. So I'm
So
super excited.
yeah, Ashley, we've got community members, right? Like they're rolling, they're excited to be a part of the program. What type of advice would you give for someone that's maybe thinking about giving their time and expertise? What advice would you give them?
Advice for through this program, correct? I would
Sure. Yeah.
say go ahead and fill out that form. It'll just notify me that you are thinking about volunteering. We do have a next step there as far as letting us know a little bit about causes you care about, your time commitments, some of the skills you feel like you could bring from there. I would be able to jump on with you to chat through um, kind of where could be a good fit amongst certain projects we have. But my advice would just be getting involved potentially with the project scoping phase that we offer. So when we get a nonprofit's project submission in, we typically help them scope that project. That's a good place to get involved and say, hey, I actually have done that before in my day job. Is it in the collection of data? Is it in the transforming of the data? Where can you bring those unique skills that you have? So I think a good step is to just get started with applying and then meeting with me, and then we can find a good fit and kind of start slow.
Yeah, love that. And, like anything, when you do a live presentation, your camera goes out. So I apologize for those people that would love to see my gorgeous face right now. You're not going to. That's okay. You don't need to. Trust me.
You get a good
What
profile pic.
Yeah, I do. And, it is AI generated, so that makes it a little bit better. This is not an AI session. Stop talking about AI. All right, here we go. So let's talk a little bit more about what we are aiming to do, right? Like you mentioned it a few times, like we are extremely mission driven, right? We're putting data to work for everyone, and not just those that that are doing, profit-based work, right? We are trying to basically help out some nonprofits. We want to make that connection, that matchmaking, as you talked about, between community members and something they're passionate about. What values do you think some of the things that Domo provides to nonprofits when they're kind of thinking about, should I sign up for this as a nonprofit? Is it something that would be valuable to me? What are some things that you're seeing over the course of this program the last few years that are really helping create that impact?
That is such a good question, Eddie. So I would first say that nonprofits are just like businesses in the fact that they do have operations. They do benefit also from having streamlined data processes and all of that. And so I think for us, where we're looking at the value Domo can provide for the community, it's one, not being intimidated by data. I know that can be a thing. So helping enhance data literacy, being able to provide education around data and our technology is definitely key. But other things that benefit when we think about putting data to work for everyone, data needs to be accessible. It needs to be easy to use. So other values such as how do we enable data democratization? How do we enable better data-driven decision making? All of these things, and I'd say at the core of this program, it's what's the so what, right? When nonprofits have a mission, uh, what are they looking to actually make impact towards? It's being able to use data, use our tool as an advocacy tool to increase funding for certain programs, see certain programs where they're performing well, where they're not, and be able to make changes that actually create that impact back to who they're serving and the populations that are being served. So I think that's the end goal there.
Yeah, I think that a lot of what you talk about is just removing barriers, right? It's a teach to fish approach. You've mentioned that a few times when we've talked. We're really trying to help nonprofits use data for not only advocacy but also ways to fundraise, to help make decisions, and really transform conversations around specific things. And we're going to dive into some really cool stories today. We have Rising Star Outreach, which is an exciting nonprofit, as well as Oaks Village. And we have some community members that I've gotten to know over the course of the last few years here at Domo that have volunteered their time and then, brought them into the fold for this Domo for Good program with the specific business that they're passionate about. And the stories are just incredible. Like, what are some projects I think that you've looked into, or some projects that have come across your desk as program manager of Domo for Good that really get you excited? I know some of the data that you provided me was like 9 nonprofit projects accepted to the program across a number of different causes. What are some things that get you really excited, or some things that stand out to you as like, this is really cool? This is what it's all been kind of worth the time.
Yeah, I love reflecting on that. I love reflecting over the year of we had 9 different projects, and some, they all differ in their own unique way. Um, One really cool one, and this was with Atara over in Japan, and they wanted to serve through their corporate social responsibility efforts. They wanted to help donate towards a cause that was through Good Gelato, where they're giving free ice cream out to underserved communities in Okinawa. So how are they doing that with data? Well, they decided to give their data expertise to this cause, to be able to show on the back end children smiles and be able to show those that are donating to that program to keep it alive, all their sponsors. Look, we're serving kids free ice cream. You can see the impact by the smiles on their face. And that was just such a great, such an easy way to just serve, in something small. It doesn't have to be so super big and super technical to add value. One other program I'm really excited about project is with, and this is besides the two we're going to talk about later today,
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
ones that might not have been, on these live streams today, but Matter is a really cool organization, and they've got a career readiness center in Zimbabwe. They are connected with JAMP, and Dean Hager there is really involved in that nonprofit, and what they're doing there is really helping high school age kids learn, coding and uh, achieve certain tech certifications with the prospects of landing internships and jobs with US based companies. So, what I'm really excited about there is Domo's ability to connect in and see if we can, um, help in that space with educating children, offering opportunities to them. So, I think that's super exciting as well. And that's just a few. There's a lot more, and again, it's all been in beta, and we're constantly learning and evolving the program to make sure it's meeting everyone's needs.
In a world, let's just that's my in a world, that's
In
my
a world.
trailer voice. That's my trailer voice. In a world where we are increasingly driven in business, especially by profits, we are continuing to see community members, and I think just the human condition, seek out opportunities to give. Right. I know that when I was in backgrounds in education, I've mentioned it a lot of time when I do these community live streams. I know that like my students were more driven or motivated by ways they could give, and with any philanthropic cause, than by money. And it was kind of interesting to like see that shift. And I believe that we have a number of community members that are also that way. Can you speak to some of the things that you've seen, or some of the things that you've heard of through this program that are really driving that home, that like gives you, I don't want to say like gives you hope in humanity. That's probably the wrong way to say it. But having a company like Domo help drive initiatives where we are literally giving them tools to succeed, and then we're providing them experts to succeed in a non-paid model. I do think that we're probably seeing or hearing of stories that are like, yeah, this is exactly what speaks to those folks that are, I guess, a little bit more motivated by helping out their communities
Yeah.
than others.
Yeah. Well, at the core, it's about people, right?
Yeah,
Like, people run companies, start companies.
yeah.
People give. People need to be served. People love to serve. People need a community. We have this inherent need for meaning and community and purpose, and so being able to give that. They always say giving can be selfish, because when you give something, it actually is you who really reaps the benefits of the giving, which is super interesting. So I definitely just love the whole model. I think where it comes with sustainability, there is inherent challenges when you think of profit and purpose, and there's a lot of studies and research that have gone into that. There has been a recent survey by Deloitte that shows that millennials, I think it was 63%, said that improving society should be a primary purpose for businesses over generating profits. So I think there's just an interesting shift there in that dynamic between profit and purpose. I would say thinking win-win, having a North Star of, a company needs to make profit, but that's because it can help sustain, not just giving back to all stakeholders. I'd say whether it's the employees of a company, whether it's the community at large, um, and the customers that we serve. So there's a lot at that intersection there. Um, and so I would just say that through this program, one thing I've learned is when I introduce this to employees, customers, everyone says, "How can I help?"
Yeah.
Right? Like, yes. I don't see a lot of resistance to programs like this, because I think that is very core, very human, that we do want to give back and give back in ways that we can, large or small. It does make an impact. So this program's been very grassroots. It's still growing. I'm so excited to hear about the stories later today, because it really is the community here that is bringing a program like this to life and adding a lot of value back to these nonprofits and their causes. So super
It
excited.
is. It feels just absolutely like a win-win in almost all situations, for nonprofits, for Domo, for those folks that were, offering this skills-based volunteering. And again, Ashley, with a well-timed segue, let's talk a little bit about the next few hours here on our YouTube channel and the live streams. We're excited to welcome two of our volunteers from the community. John Lee, you may have known John from his work with Dashboard Dudes. John is working with Kristen Edwards in Rising Star Outreach. They're really excited about some of the things that they were doing. I happen to know Kristen's husband from some previous employment. And it was a great conversation we had the other day about, Kristen is looking at Domo every day. And I was like, this is amazing, right? This is exactly what the program was built on. And having someone like John Lee is, someone that's just very enthusiastic about volunteering for a company like Rising Star, and to be able to match those two together is kind of that win-win that we just talked about. But I've put the link to the session. Session will be happening at 3:15 Eastern, where we'll get to meet John Lee and Kristen Edwards specifically as they talk about their partnership with Domo and Rising Star, a way to track students' progress through that program. So actually talk a little bit about the Rising Star partnership with John Lee before we wrap things up.
That was just super incredible when Writing Star Outreach came through. It was a project that felt they were ready right away, where we could get to the project scoping. We could understand exactly the first use case with their student performance dashboard. What were those core KPIs they needed? We were at the time, it was great. John Lee's submission came through to volunteer, and it just felt like the perfect fit right away. And that was just in May of this year. So May to November, getting to where they're at now. There's been a really good shift, like you mentioned, with Kristen, waking up and looking at Domo, just that shift of being data curious, having that
Yeah.
data driven culture, and just the understanding that things don't happen overnight.
Right.
And there is a maturity curve to using data, and just that whole process when it comes to trusting the data that's coming in, how you're collecting it, um, and learning it yourself, right? That's the teach to fish approach. And John Lee, I think, will be able to speak to that well, um, because they've
Yeah.
really been able to build their own dashboards and filter and play with the
Yeah.
data because,
Yeah.
uh, yeah,
He
because they.
really does it. He really does epitomize that enthusiastic volunteering piece. You'll definitely see that when we do the session. Again, 3:15 Eastern. Link is in the comments or chat section. Be sure to join us at 3:15 to learn more about Rising Star with John Lee and Kristen Edwards. And then we're going to do another live stream. Yes, I am in the chair all day, which I love. I just love being able to talk to our community folks on this platform and at least speak to a little bit about what you're doing with your Domo for Good program. Jason Altenberg, Domo community legend, is going to be bringing us live. We got the email. I will be live from Oaks Village. So we're excited to see his compelling session on kind of a small scale digital transformation. Jason really has helped Oaks Village initially relying on paper go to a more data-driven advocacy platform with quantifiable reporting. So really excited to kind of see that with Oaks Village. That's at 4:15 Eastern. Again, the link is in the comments or chat section, wherever you may be on YouTube. Copy and paste that link into your browser, and you'll be able to see that at 4:15 Eastern. Ashley, Jason Altenberg, absolute legend, right?
Yes.
Was one of the first one of the first people to kind of come to the forefront and say, I want to do good in the Domo for Good program?
He gave me and Julie Kehoe at the time chills, literal chills,
Yeah.
because it was just when, I had spent weeks, and again, the program's been running, so it's been up. I think Jason knew about it. And so for the last few weeks, I had been looking at the strategy and how do we make this beneficial for the long term, everything I talked about with that North Star. Jason comes to Domo. I think it was for the
Yeah.
Sensei retreat last
Right.
year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's just searching for the person to talk to about Domo for Good.
Yeah.
And so he tracked me and Julie Kehoe down, and literally through this conversation, we're having chills because everything Jason was saying about his place in giving back and what did he wanted to do for Oaks Village, and really help them quantify the impact of all these services they're doing. It sent chills down our spine. That's all I could say that
Yeah.
day. It just
Right.
felt like He gave a lot of confirmation that this program was on the right track. And I'm so excited to hear from him later today because he's done some great work there. And again, it's, it doesn't have to be this big, huge operation to make a difference. Like you said, small scale digital transformation is just as meaningful, especially for the communities that are being served there. So super excited to
Yeah.
hear about that as
He
well.
he tracked me down. He said he grabbed my arm and he goes, "Where is the Domo for Good People?" And I don't necessarily know if I've really met you in person yet, but I go, "I think that's Ashley, and I think it's Julie." And I like walked him down to the office, and he sat down, and it was like I could see Julie's just brain explode on like this is exactly who we are kind of trying to reach, the people that we're trying to bring in from the community that are willing to give their time and expertise to help out an initiative. Could be a local initiative, could be a national initiative. Like you're kind of the matchmaker between our community members and the folks that are looking to help out and kind of get some data driven analytics when it comes to advocacy, fundraising, all of those things we chatted about. Ashley, thank you so much. Like we can all tell that you're super passionate about this. Obviously, your background at Domo and your background in life has led you to create this really cool initiative that I think we're just excited to learn more about today on Giving Tuesday. I just really appreciate it. Thank you again for just sharing your passion with us.
Thanks, Eddie. I'm just building on the shoulder of giants, right? This is not a new space, giving and corporate giving. It's something that I've been blessed enough to take over
Right.
as far as managing. And I couldn't be more thankful and I really appreciate the time on Giving Tuesday to talk about ways in which we can give. And we hope to encourage others to give as well of their time and talents. And please connect with me because I'd love, love, love to keep building the program with you. It's meant for the full community and our ecosystem. So thanks so much, Eddie,
I
for
love it.
having me.
Yeah, thank you. And again, join us at 3:15 Eastern. We'll be joined by John Lee and Kristen Edwards, the Rising Star Outreach. And then an hour later, we'll have Jason Altenberg on with the Oaks Village to talk all about how Domo is making a difference in the Domo for Good program on Giving Tuesday. We can't wait to catch you guys on the next one. Thanks again for being here. We'll see you at 3:15 Eastern today.
Thanks
Thanks,
all.
everybody.
Bye.